Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This offseason has just been to finish and to build that toughness and grit, and that happens in training camp.
Travis Etienne fakes the handoff, runs it to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Travis Etienne out of the Wildcat.
Now, going into my year 3, it's about me putting all the pieces together from my year 1 to year 2, and now I feel like I'm able to just go out there and play ball with it.
He's going to get in. He's going to get sacked back at the 20-yard line. Trayvon Walker made the sack.
I can make every play on the field. You know, that's the position that I'm put in at all times, and, you know, learn the capabilities that I can and will do it. Stop the run, be able to rush the passer, just, you know, execute your technique, man. If I can do that well, I can dominate.
He scrambles away. He's going to get hit. He's going to get sacked. Josh Allen got him inside the 40-yard line. He couldn't spin away that time. What a play by Josh Allen.
I never like to say too much before the year starts because it's a long year and you got to earn it every week. But I will say this is definitely the most talented team that I've been a part of since I've been here. No question about that. And I think the leadership is as good or better than I've ever seen it.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and
Hold my pocket!
Dylan Denmark.
Yes, indeed. Happy game day. It is Friday, the rare Friday game day, as we'll wrap up the preseason tonight for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, Dylan Denmark here with you. Tommy Mack, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
Happy
indeed.
game day. Big day. Big night tonight.
Yeah, it is, and we'll get into everything we're looking for. It doesn't look like the Falcons are going to approach it the same way as the Jags. It's really a mixed bag nowadays.
I agree.
A lot of teams that are, exposing their guys maybe once in 3 preseason games and trying to get it done in joint practices, in simulated games, things like that, and. We'll find out.
It's, look, if you don't play this weekend, you're 3 weeks from playing.
At least, right? That's assuming you played last week.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. I don't know. You wonder. I started wondering last year, like that. You want to win every game. Don't get me wrong. But if you get off to a slower start early, you know what I mean?
In the preseason?
No, in the regular season. Like you drop the first one, it's not as traumatic as maybe, you know what I mean? Does that make sense at all? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you still have a lot of games to make it up.
Well, I mean, think about it. I don't know. I think about it like this. Like, how do you really get your team ready with the way things are, the rules are, with training camp and all that? You can get them ready to a certain degree, but you can only go so far, right? And then you're going into the regular season where now it's live. And it's for everybody. I'm not saying it's not for,
the team you're playing has
it's
the
for
same
everybody. That's
amount
what I'm
of
saying. But
opportunities.
is there maybe, hey, we're still, working on things, even though the regular season has started, I guess. You know what I mean?
Maybe some. Tony Mitch Moore said it takes 2 or 3 games now to kind of get the running game on track.
Absolutely. And look, you talk about losing week 1 at the end of it, but we all know, because we've all been watching the NFL for a long time, everyone knows the numbers when you get to 0-2.
No doubt.
Your odds of making the playoffs go down this much. 0-3, they go down this much. And you get to 0-4, and it's like, well, we've had 2 teams in NFL history that have made the playoffs after starting.
That's true.
That kind of year. And 0-1 is the first step to getting into those kind of numbers. So it's obviously important. And I just went back and looked. Atlanta didn't play their guys last week either.
Wow.
No, they didn't.
Right.
Kirk Cousins not playing a snap in the preseason.
Right.
And Penix only played in the first preseason game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, that's their choice.
It's a different approach. Yeah, it's just a different approach. That's
and I get it. Kirk Cousins coming off a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
You can manage him in practice.
Sure.
Let's not lose him to a random sack in the middle of the second quarter.
But let me ask, do practices, the dual practices and the limited amount of preseason, do you feel confident going into week 1, do you think?
I think you have to ask the head coaches that.
That's what I'm asking. I mean, not you. I'm saying, you think the coaches are like, all right, man, we're primed, ready to go. We should be in rhythm. Everything should be good.
I don't see how you can be compared to 10, 15 years ago. I don't know. But, again, it's the trade-off of we're playing a lot of games.
I know.
Got to keep our guys healthy. You know, your quarterback goes down, or one or two of your key other players, man.
Like, I can understand it. Yeah, in Atlanta, you don't want to put Bijan at risk of any of that. Fine.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand their nervousness about some of their frontline guys because they may not feel real good about the depth anyway. You know, there with Atlanta, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but they are obviously approaching this preseason the way they're approaching it, which has basically been, we don't need to see our guys, play at all. I don't know how much that's going to get them ready for Pittsburgh week 1. I don't know. They have to feel like it will.
Have you seen Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The more they play their guys, the better I feel about Atlanta.
For sure. But it's, look, different teams handle this preseason specifically a different way, right? And, you know, we've seen the Rams kind of handle preseasons that way before, where they didn't play their guys basically at all in the preseason. They were okay, you know, to start the year, so you can do it that way. It's a bit weird for a team like Atlanta that hasn't had any success recently. Not really to speak of, that they would approach it this way to give their guys this little opportunity to play together in an entire preseason.
What if our guys weren't playing tonight? How would you feel? Like, you'd be like, wait a minute, what?
Right. Well,
you're not playing them?
They're not, like, I feel like if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you decide, I'm not going to play, you're the two-time defending Super Bowl champ, you could say anything you like because your way is working, right? And they played their guys at least a little bit in the first 2 preseason games. They didn't last night. You know, but, for the Jags, I wouldn't want to have Trevor Lawrence to have just that little bit of action that he had in week 1 of the preseason.
I don't think any of it would bother me except the offensive line not playing.
No, I agree.
That would be the only part of it that I'd be like, they'll figure it out. I've seen enough of Trevor Lawrence that I know kind of what to expect with him.
Sure.
I've seen enough of him with the first team offense out on the field in the, you know, that first week of the preseason and at training camp, the reports we've heard about what they had going. I wouldn't be so nervous about that part of anything that they were doing. You know, and how much better I feel about the defense. I'm not going to feel any better or worse about the defense based on what happens tonight. Not me personally, right, against Atlanta. But the offensive line has been a question throughout the entire offseason. It was a question when they got to camp. It's a question now going into the last week of the preseason. If they didn't play all those guys together on the field for the first time tonight, I'd be like, okay, you know, I'd be holding my breath really.
Trevor
going
looks
into
good
week
on 7-on-7.
Right, like that kind of thing would be a big question still going into week 1. It's not that I couldn't believe that they would feel comfortable with what that answer is, but me, I'd be going, why not take a look at it for 10 plays, even if that's all it is?
Totally agree.
I don't see how that wouldn't be good work for those guys.
All right, let's set up a few things. Tony, you got high school tonight, right?
I do, yeah.
Bowls and Reigns.
Everything's colliding with the college kicking off this weekend as well, obviously, over in Ireland for Florida State. We have high school kicking off tonight. I got Bowls and Reigns, 7:30 tonight. We'll be on the AM app. So tonight when someone gets frustrated looking for the Jaguars game on the app where we can't stream it anyway.
They'll have football.
Right, they'll have Bowls football. They'll hear
come
my
looking
voice.
for you.
Yeah.
They'll come looking for you, and maybe they'll stick around. I wonder, there's got to be at least one person that's going to listen for half a quarter, and before they realize, they'll be like, are they playing backups? I don't recognize all
I've
these,
never heard of these
names right now. Mr. Denmark, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Baldwin, Inglewood.
Yep.
What's going down tonight, man?
Inglewood. It's going to be a kickoff at 6:30, and the game's probably going to end around 9, and I hope we win.
All right.
Look
at this guy, Mr. Political, right down the middle of the road, you know, not going to give any bulletin board material.
You know what I want to happen tonight? I don't want it to rain. I'm tired of the rain.
You don't want a slop fest.
I'm sick and tired of the rain.
What is Baldwin's offensive calling card this year? You got big play passing game, going to run it down people's throats? What's the story?
50-50.
A balanced approach.
Yeah.
Balanced approach.
Yeah.
All right, so we want good weather to be able to sling the rock.
I was told my brother Mike, his oldest son, starting as a sophomore on the senior team at defensive end.
Life comes at you, brother.
First game's tonight.
That's right. Awesome. I had lunch 2 days ago with a friend of mine from college who I had not seen in 33 years. Okay. Maybe. Like, it's been a long time, right? Wow. He just dropped his grandkid off at Flagler. His grandkid. Now,
grandkids are... You keep running into people our age that have grandkids.
Bro, and great guy. It was good reconnecting with him. Yeah. It's funny. His nickname in college was Rage, right? Not because of anger, but because he, any party would turn into a rager, when he was around.
Yeah.
And now he's like a regional manager at Cracker Barrel. It's like
no raging.
Just life priorities change along the way. All right, I was very proud of Tom McManus. I said, Tom, on average, you got 4 quarterbacks going ahead of Anthony Richardson this year in fantasy drafts, and he was surprised Richardson went that high. I said it's the running ability. Right. Tom nailed all 4 guys, primed to come back with fan cam and defend your title.
We are.
In the Jaguars Today fantasy leagues, right?
Yes.
Ben was one of our winners last year, and Cristiano down in Brazil earned his way back. So you 3 teams are automatically re-entered. We posted yesterday for the first time. In fact, I think it was the exact date because I just went back and copy and pasted from last year's thread. But I'm going to go through it one time because not everybody's on Twitter. Okay. And just for folks out there to understand, if you want to play in one of the Jaguars Today fantasy leagues, we do expect you're a Jaguar fan that listens to this program, right? And if we're not sure, we're going to look at your social media or whatever, and
how many leagues do you have?
We do 3.
Oh,
we do 3
how many
leagues.
am I in?
You're in 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's easier that way, right? You'd be welcome to be in more than 1. But like Tony and I and Dylan will play in all 3.
Okay, I got you.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, one's good.
But most like Ozier will play in 1, D-Rock will play in 1, that kind of thing. Okay. So if you want in, okay, listen closely, please, all right? You're going to have a chance to play against some of us here. These are 14-team point per reception leagues. That just means you get a point every time they catch the football, right? Okay. Some leagues do and some leagues don't. They're going to take place on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of opening week. That's September 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, okay?
Drafts.
The drafts will, right? No trading in these leagues. So people, I want to trade. Well, that's BS. Well, what's BS is when somebody makes a lopsided trade and then people are talking about that's collusion, that's not fair, even though there's no big prize on the line.
Right.
It's just easier to deal with it that way. We run it through ESPN.com, so you need an ESPN username, right?
Okay.
Easy enough to get. So if you want a spot in one of the leagues, send a single email, just one email, to Mike D at 1010XL.com, and you've got 25 words or less to tell me why you feel like you deserve a spot in one of the leagues. It doesn't have to be like anything this grandiose. I'm telling you.
I want to take down the champ.
I just want to hang out with other Jaguar. It can be whatever. It can be as simple. It's not. We're not. Clever. If it's clever, I'll probably give you a few bonus points.
Throw a riddle in there.
Maybe, right?
Riddle me this.
People write little haikus and stuff like that to get in. Those are kind of fun. So included in this email, full name, best phone number to reach you, and which of those days you're available to draft. If you're available any of the days, that makes it more likely you're going to get in because you'll have more flexibility. Subject line of the email is the word fantasy. That's it. One word, fantasy. Okay, and as I posted yesterday on Twitter, and I'm reading this because not everybody's on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
If you don't include the requested info, you don't get a spot. Yeah. If you send a second email on the subject for any reason, you will not get a spot. Okay, and people, that's not fair. It's all laid out right here. Just follow the directions. It's pretty simple. I've been very impressed, actually.
You lost me after name, but
your fan cam's got you covered. All right, you're grandfathered in. Send it to Mike D at 1010XL.com. There's a Twitter thread. I reposted it this morning, so all the details are in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can't use the name Longboards, right? You can't be copycat.
Well, you can. It'd be somebody else's long. You can't use Fan Cam's longboards.
That's what. Is that what it is? Fan Cam's Longboards.
I think that's. It was. Maybe it's just the longboards.
I thought it was just the longboards.
It may just be the longboards. He's in a dynasty league with Tony and I, where his team is Fan Cam's longboard.
Gotcha.
So yes, longboards is off the table.
Yeah.
Right. If you try to use it, you will be excommunicated.
They will not be allowed in.
I don't know. But and I will say, I'm not saying all these people are definitely getting in.
Right.
But had people showing interest. Obviously, Cristiano's in Brazil. Had an Argentinian Jaguar fan.
Really.
And some Jag fan in Barcelona as well.
Cool.
So yeah,
rock and roll.
We like to get. We always usually put a few spots aside for the international contingent to get them in there, and so we'll have fun. Those drafts will take place in about a week and a half. So that's all the detail you need. Today's question of the day, other than staying injury-free, give us 3 things you're hoping to see from the Jags in their performance tonight against the Falcons. You can hit us up at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Meathead55, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
And, of course, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Hop in the YouTube virtual studio and get in the chat there if you like. And let's talk Jaguar football on this Friday. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Celebrate a new season.
Don't hold nothing back.
1010XL's college kickoff coverage is brought to you by Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Florida and Island Oaks RV Park.
Do not start celebrating too early.
On 1010XL.
Rejoice.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, Garber wiggle.
At Garber Auto Mall, we can wiggle it. Best price, we can wiggle it. Best trade value, we can wiggle it. Best payment, we can wiggle it. Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, with 8 American brands, we can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or online at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, Garber wiggle.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Sweeps is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
Calling all fans of Duval to downtown Las Vegas during the game against the Silver and Black. This is Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this December for the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway featuring an incredible all-in package. Get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available until August 30th, so act now. To book and to join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees, and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 50 to 60% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 50 to 60% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 50 to 60% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's a Monday morning must.
We actually found it!
Yes. Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Monday mornings at 7:20 with Dan and Jeff on the drill on 1010XL.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210. Proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill. and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com, and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler. Go Team WM, and as always, Duval!
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
For the greenest, lushest lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mac in the Middle, Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, here's one for us on social media from Bat Blackhood. Okay. Would you trade a first-round draft pick for Trent Williams? Concerned about Trevor Lawrence in the pocket. Don't want to see him hurt because our O-line is bad. Go Jags. We were just discussing this on the break. I don't think we would at this stage, right?
No, I'd love to have him on my team, but no. I
but look, it's not just the first rounder. It's he is holding out. He wants a new contract. The 49ers understand how valuable he is. They have not given him Tony, I haven't seen any hint of any movement on that. That's like the forgotten, okay, we talk about Ayuk all the time because, wide receivers are always in the news, and there's multiple of them with CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase at various stages of a hold in or out. But, if the Jags are okay at any spots on the line, you feel like it's tackle. Like that's where your depth is, So would he be better than what we have? Yes.
But that don't erase the interior issues.
Do you want to pay let's say it's $20 million. Let's say it's $20 million. I don't know what the number would be. It might be more, right? But let's say it's $20 million. Do you want to be paying a 37-year-old next year $20 million,
right?
And not have that first round draft pick? I don't know if he changes.
Yeah, it's amazing that he would still command a first round draft pick at age 36.
I don't know that he would necessarily because of
that would be That's pretty incredible.
Well, he's great. He's a great player. He would make us better here in Jacksonville. There's no question about it. But it's not just.
But you do that deal believing that your window's this year or next year. Then I would think
that's the old right. And I think the Jags are looking at this like we've got like a 5-year kind of window here. We've managed the cap pretty well. We're starting to get some more youth. In certain key areas. We've locked up our key guys, and they're going to be in their prime for the next 5 years or so, or just even
or at least 4,
beginning to
3,
come
4, 5.
Right, but like Trevor's only 24 right now. He should be continuing to get better over the next half decade.
Sure.
Josh Allen should be maintaining a ridiculously high level of play. You hope Tyson Campbell becomes worthy of that contract. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if you saw this. D'Orlando Ledbetter covers the Falcons for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, of course, was breaking out A.J. Terrell's contract.
I saw that, yeah.
And he's like, man, they're really leaning into his 2021 production. And he put the numbers up of completion percentage allowed, quarterback rating allowed. It's not that great. It's not like this guy should be making $20 million a year, and everyone, I think, has this feeling about him that, he's one of those guys that's kind of worth it. And he, as a rookie, he played at an exceptionally high level and has not gotten back to that level in the last couple of years.
He's second highest paid behind the guy from Green Bay.
Yes.
Jair, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the owners are just laundering money.
Well, they got to spend it.
What a way to, get that money into the system. Right? Just give it to average players, man. Who cares?
Right? I don't know.
What do you mean? Hey,
and when we take it back in fines, right? It'll be clean when we get it back from all the fines. I don't know. All right, let's get a couple of calls in to get things rolling here today at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. We'll start with Mac on the north side. Good morning, Mac.
Mike, I got a chance to catch XM for like a whole hour.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The only one I missed. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only one I missed was head coach. I missed head coach. I caught Josh Allen. I caught Trevor Lawrence. I caught Travis Etienne. I caught Trent Baalke.
Cool.
Yeah. And the stadium guy, Mike Lampton, and I got a good thing on that stadium, man. I caught all that on XM.
Yeah, they Sirius XM NFL Radio does the training camp tours, and they come to and they do a stop at everyone's training camp, and basically make a day about them.
Got it.
Hey, this was an hour, man. This was an hour on National XM. That was kind of cool, Mike.
Yeah. They literally do it for every team, and they've been doing it for a number of years. But, if you want to hear your team talked about on the national level, you'll get in the rotation, no doubt. So what can we do for you today, Mac?
That was all. Oh, I just wanted to bring that up and say hello. I can say my buddy Tom. Tom, what are you playing at tonight?
Oh, man, we're not playing till the end of September, but we'll be out at the beach at the local. Yeah, the local in Neptune Beach.
That's okay.
Yeah, man.
That's okay. I enjoyed you down in St. Johns County. Man, I had a blast.
Man, I appreciate you coming all the way down there and staying the whole time. That was fantastic. We had a good time that night, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And I'll be calling the show every Friday if I ain't calling every Friday and checking on you, man, because I like to try to drive a little closer. But, hey, I still had a great time.
All right, man.
Thank you, Mac. Enjoy the game tonight. Appreciate it. And the training camp tour I think was just like Tuesday this week. They came in. They were actually going to do it the day when the tropical storm came through, and so they would have done it a lot earlier, and it got canceled and pushed back and all that. So it's out, and you can. If you have Sirius XM, you can go like on demand and listen to all those shows anytime you want. So. No doubt. Mac, thank you. Let's go to Regina in Mandarin next up. Hello, Regina.
Good morning, guys. I'm with you. I'm one of those 950 out of 1,000 fans you said yesterday that worry about the O-line. But I want to give concrete examples. I do not want Trevor sacked. I want the O-line to get their act together so their timing is good to get a running game going. And number 3, I want Trevor to have at least 2 touchdowns during the time he's playing. That'll make me feel better about the O-line, and I'll take all your comments offline.
All right, Regina. Go Jags. Thank you, Regina. I didn't mean to step on your Go Jags right there. I think that would be fantastic. Don't get Trevor sacked.
Yep.
O-line does some work in the run game, and Trevor throws a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't take that?
Right.
Right there,
Well, I mean, look, look, it's not like the second team's filled with terrible football players. They still can play football, but our first team should, get some drives.
Should
together.
win, right?
Yeah, it should win. Right, win.
Win. When I say win your matchups.
Win your matchups.
Right. More often than not.
Right. If you're out there for the first half, then you should win that first half.
Absolutely, and that doesn't mean you win every single rep. I mean, those guys are getting paid, even if they're second teamers. Guys, they're good football.
They can play ball.
Absolutely,
there's no doubt.
Right, but you should have the better product on the field tonight, and that should be evident watching that first half tonight.
Yeah, look, the first 2 weeks of the preseason have been not surprising from the perspective of the Jaguars have had 3 quarterbacks that are available to play that are all veteran guys who understand what they're doing, right? And they're playing against teams that once they get past their starter have a bunch of question marks about what any of this is going to look like, the depth chart, all those things. So it's not surprising that the Jags quarterbacks have been way better than whatever teams are playing. Well, tonight it's a little bit different because Atlanta's not going to be playing anybody. I'm not real clear how much Mac's going to play tonight at all for the team. We'll see Trevor Lawrence for as long as they want to play Trevor Lawrence. I think it'll be less than a half given the circumstances with what Atlanta's going to put out there. So it's a bit different this week than it has been the first couple of weeks. But with what we've seen from this team through training camp and to this point, if they're not really clearly better than Atlanta for the first, however long the first team, whatever is on, they ought to dominate the football game tonight. Like, just do what they want to do tonight against this Falcons team, because they shouldn't be facing some big test. They're going to be facing a bunch of backups.
And if they do that, Tony, get them out after a quarter, and
I'm fine with that.
We're good.
Yeah.
And we feel like, okay.
The only thing I was just thinking while you were talking, the unit you'd keep in there maybe is the O-line, just to give those 5 guys who all we heard last year was what, in the offseason? Well, they only started together 1 game. So, but let's get them some more work so they're ready come week 1.
You got to balance that versus, Cleveland's been banged up. You've had a number of these guys, so it's all part of that new era of football. You want them to play together. You want them to get reps. But you also want them healthy, right?
You want them all healthy.
Ideally, they get enough work and they stay healthy, right? And then you can manage them for the next couple weeks. All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and, of course, Dylan Denmark here with you, 641-1010. If you want to get in, talk a little Jaguar football with us, this is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? Tonight, I may swing by the gate station on my way home from the MEC, as they call it, the Miller Electric Center, and swing in and get myself a little breakfast item. You know what? French toast in the middle of the night is delicious. Anytime is a good time for breakfast, and Dandy has a fantastic selection of breakfast items. You may be not thinking about breakfast when you swing into a gate station, but Dandy's got French toast. They've got soft, flaky croissants, light, tasty maple waffles, sizzling country sausage, black forest ham, thick sliced bacon, pepper fried eggs, creamy Wisconsin cheddar cheese, and on and on and on. So many breakfast staples, always fresh, always delicious, made with the highest quality ingredients. Dandy is a local Jacksonville-based company that's been thriving for nearly 70 years because they keep delivering every single time. Great variety and the prices that always put a smile on your face. For food on the go, Dandy's the name to know. So do what I do when you're hungry. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today. For the renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And if your dream is to create that space where you're living large in your backyard, then you need to get with the good people at CSS. They put a gas log in our fireplace, an awesome fire pit out back where the kids can toast s'mores and we can just hang out and watch the game. It's all part of your outdoor living experience with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer. This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
I
can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Hunters know patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnit Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and how it relates back to beauty and value. But how do you judge the color of a diamond?
Frank, that's an important question when it comes to diamonds. You see, a man or a woman really have no color memory. Now, you can remember basic colors like blue or red, but considering we can see thousands of slight variations of the same color, you have to have a master color to relate these two. Anybody that's ever tried to match a paint color on a wall knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we judge the color of diamonds using a set of certified master diamonds from the American Gem Society. This is the only way you can really make an accurate call on the grade because these slight variations in color from colorless to very slight yellow have huge price differences.
That's at Underwood's, where diamonds are graded accurately in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect fare for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jags are back in action tonight as they take on the Atlanta Falcons to wrap up their preseason. QB Trevor Lawrence spoke on the importance of getting live reps with the starting O-line.
Especially the guys up front and feeling the pocket. I don't get hit out here, and it's in the game. It's a different sense of urgency as far as my time clock, getting the ball out, and also just seeing different pressures and stuff. Because there's sometimes in practice, you'll get beat on a pressure, like I don't see it, and they make us hot, and in practice it's like, in the game it's like it's smoked if I don't get out of here. So all those different things, it just feels different. So I think it's good to have your starting line kind of test some of your protections as well. Like you do some new stuff and you want to see how it holds up against a live look.
Jags and Falcons will kick off tonight at 7. Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
You know, I still have not seen Top Gun Maverick. And heard it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's a good time, yeah.
Right. And I did just watch it. I don't know if it's Apple or might be Amazon. It's got a Tom Cruise documentary. It's like 90 minutes. Tom Cruise, the last movie star.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it touches on the Scientology stuff a little bit, you know.
Oh, does that?
It does, because because he had his peak and then he kind of went cuckoo, jumping on Oprah's couch. Right? I mean, so like and their point was, has there ever been an actor who was like a heartthrob, leading man, like biggest box office guy in his 20s, who became an action hero in his 50s and 60s?
Yeah.
You know? And
his own stunts.
who is like the biggest. I mean, those Mission Impossible movies are amazingly fun to watch.
You've had the scene where he's showing them filming the motorcycle scene where he jumps off the cliff.
Yes.
He actually does
And
it.
he's done. And he did it like a half dozen
Multiple
times, right? Yeah.
It's way up
Did you
there.
see the documentary?
Yeah, I didn't see the documentary. I've seen clips on
The shot
Twitter.
where he goes up the ramp,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's obviously in there.
Yeah. That became like the Mission Impossible thing. When a new one was coming out, the TV preview would come on.
Yeah.
And I remember the one where he's strapped to the side of the plane, and I'm watching the 5 seconds of it on TV. I'm like, he did this.
That's really him.
Yeah.
Yes, that is really, really him doing
He's a
all that
nut.
crazy.
Yeah.
He is a
I've
nut.
always liked him as an actor.
I just want to know
I've
how
always
his
seen
joints have held up this
Yeah,
well,
I don't
because,
know.
you know, like a dead sprint at 60 years old.
No, right.
And
he could always run, though.
He could always, but he
Yeah.
still can run. Like
Yeah.
every movie has
part
like
of the
that
Tom
shot.
Cruise thing. Every
It really
movie he
is.
runs,
Like all the right moves. I can remember him running
The
down the street
Firm.
going, wow, he
You
looks pretty
name
fast.
any movie he's been in, practically,
he takes
right?
off
War of the
sprinting.
Worlds. He's
right.
he's sprinting at some point in all these flicks. I don't know. I bet he did it in Vanilla Sky too.
Yeah, he probably did.
Probably
That
did.
was a wild movie.
All right, on the text line here, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, we took that passing shot at the Steelers. I'm glad it didn't go unnoticed. As a lifelong Steeler fan that listens to you guys every day, that hurts. Did a little crying eye emoji right there. Or just, I wonder with that team, is this the year, realistically, that Mike Tomlin's streak of never having a losing season is snapped? I mean, the quarterback play is suspect in the preseason in a big way.
It is, but I don't know. I think his kind of resume speaks for itself. I would expect them to be right around 500.
Around,
yeah,
right?
But maybe they're under. They might be. But,
They almost missed it last year.
Yeah, they did.
Right, and you've got, Cincy, which is an interesting team as well.
Yeah,
Cincy,
nice hair,
Cleveland's good. Baltimore's good. I think most people would pick Pittsburgh to be fourth in the division. You know?
Yeah.
So
Fair.
Anyway,
but that division might all be around 500. You know what I'm saying?
Might be.
You never
Might
know
be.
with that.
A couple of we're asking today, putting injuries aside, and nobody wants to see that. What are 3 things you're looking for from the Jags? 3 things I would like to see in tonight's game from the text line. 1 is consistent line play. 2, running between the tackles, and 3, deep ball execution. A lot of people talking about that. They want to see that Jags continue to push the ball down the field. We've seen a lot of that in practice. Would like to see, would love for Trevor to hit Brian Thomas for a 60-yard touchdown tonight.
Yeah.
Get us all amped up.
Got to have time to do it. That's the biggest question, right?
Trevor having less than 2 turnovers will be a success. I'd like to see him have no turnovers.
Yeah, 0.
Chill,
0.
man. Like that's the bar.
Yeah,
2
right.
turnovers. Relax, guy.
No. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, right. 2 turnovers? Come on.
Less than.
Yeah.
2
Less
turnovers.
than,
Right.
yeah.
I don't want to, going up against basically backups, protect the football and get out of there clean. And
what could be really good? Look, backups, not bad, whatever. If you perform well tonight, you'll have some confidence going in.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about us and the fans. I'm talking about them. Because, look, let's be honest. The last time they went live, the O-line, they got their butts kicked by Vita Vea. I mean, that guy destroyed them, at least in that one team drill that we were all watching. Half those throws would never have gone off. They would have never looked so pretty. It would be on his back. So we want to make sure that doesn't, right? We want to see that.
Yeah.
We just want to see that this offensive line is going to be able to do what? Yeah, I want holes open for the run. Of course you do. I think a lot of that's with the timing of the back, but yes. But more than that, I want my quarterback protected. kept clean as much as possible. Not take the hits that he took last year. He took forget the injuries. Think of all the hits he took on top of the injuries. I mean, that guy took a beating, so we got to make sure that they're ready to go.
If the Jags come out tonight and opening drive, Trevor goes 7 for 8 for 65 yards and a touchdown.
Pull him.
You're done, right? That was Anthony Richardson last night.
Yep.
Then he played 4 more series.
Yep.
And he threw for 21 yards and threw a pick six. You know, so you're like, you can. I get it though. You want to get him work. You want to get him reps. You know, and
he's a little different though because he hasn't had much.
He didn't play much last year, right? But like, boy, how much different would you feel?
Yep.
If you leave on that high note, man, Anthony Richardson hit Adonai Mitchell, our new rookie, for a touchdown. Wow, we're ready. Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, right.
And then he plays 4 more series and he throws for 21 yards.
The Colts. I mean, that's what I felt after watching that. I was like, I'm not really worried about the Colts anymore. You know, now that doesn't mean he can't have success as we move forward. But.
Who do you want to win that opener? In the Colts and Texans opener, I believe?
I think so.
Oh.
You're rooting for, I mean, I think most Jag fans will root for the Colts because they would see the Texans as the bigger threat.
The Texans a loss, yes.
We've handled the Colts head-to-head. We had John McClain on last night, who still, like, he retired from the Houston Chronicle, right? But he still does, like, 12 regular radio appearances a week.
Does he?
And he just started writing for HoustonTexans.com, and he told us, I'm not taking a penny because if it goes bad, I'm going to tell you.
I want to be able to write what I want to write.
If you write for the team website, you're restricted.
You are. You can only say so much.
You can only go so far, right? And because
I've remained independent.
Right? And no, seriously, but he thinks that the hype is too big around the Texans.
Okay.
He doesn't. He thinks, maybe another year of development. He doesn't think they're a serious Super Bowl contender this year because a lot of people outside of Houston they're like the dark horse. You know, people are tired. Oh, it's boring to pick Kansas City again. We'll pick Houston.
Yeah, honestly, I've never felt like when you said that, I'm like, man, I don't think of them as a Super Bowl contender.
A lot of people do.
But I think of them as a real contender in the AFC South. Like, they're the champ. You got to beat the champ if you want to take it over.
And they added Joe Mixon in the backfield. They added Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
They added Danielle Hunter, right? I mean, and you presume C.J. Stroud, year of development.
I also
should get better.
think, and look, I don't know him personally, but his demeanor gives me confidence that D'Amico Ryans is going to make sure everything's, we're going to earn that stuff. We're not going to be floating in the sky, so to speak, because it's easy. Look, we talk about 2017 after they had all that success. What's the biggest concern? Can they handle the success in 2018? They couldn't. What happened last year? We couldn't handle the success. Injuries happened too, but there was something off with the team, with the psyche from the beginning, right? Because of what? Because, they were the darlings. Now the Houston Texans are the darlings. Can they overcome it?
You want to play with confidence, Tom, but you don't want to be overconfident, right? I mean, you want to still have that hunger that drives you like.
Last year don't count.
And
forget about it.
Think about how hard that is. You climb the mountaintop, right? And then Kansas City, they're able to do it again. And they got Patrick Mahomes. Well, Patrick Mahomes is mortal. I mean, he can be beaten. The Raiders beat him late in the season in Kansas City and shut him down.
They were a wild card team last year.
Right.
Like they can be beaten.
Yeah, and think about it. Everyone mentions Mahomes, number one quarterback in the league. They also have the number one defensive tackle in the league in Chris Jones. They probably have the number one center in the league in Creed Humphrey, who just got paid. You know what I mean? It's not like,
See ESPN,
Kelsey's the number one tight end in the league.
Yeah. See the pass block win rate for Creed Humphrey? What ESPN?
I didn't see it, though.
Like 98.1, which they claim, based on their analysis, he holds his block for 2.5 seconds on 98% of the pass blocking snaps out there.
Good. That's finishing right there, baby. Good for him.
Yeah, with Kelsey walking away, I like Humphrey being the best center in the league.
Chiefs were division champs last year.
Yeah.
I thought about it right after. I was
they
hosted the playoff game, but they were the 4 seed, right?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Who won that?
They didn't have the kind of year that you'd.
They were 11-6.
Yes, they were on the road the next week.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were good. Obviously, they were good. But they went into Baltimore playing against league MVP Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And that's part of Lamar's narrative.
That's right.
You got to play in the postseason to the same level you play in the regular season, or at least the same level, if not take it up another notch. All right, we'll come back. Let's start to look at some of the things we want to see in tonight's game. Again, putting injuries aside, that's our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. What are you looking for out of the Jags tonight that'll give you a little bit of confidence over the next 2 weeks heading into the season opener versus Miami. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Big play, 35 from the 16. Mark at the line of scrimmage. Takes the snap, turns, looking for Jimmy in the end zone. Touchdown, Jaguars! Touchdown, Jaguars! Touchdown, Jaguars!
Home of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Well, all the news forecasts say that home prices are expected to decline in 2025. Hey, that's great if you're buying a home. But if you're selling one, you might want to get to it. And when it comes to selling your home, the agents you should trust are Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. Maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. And you don't want to worry about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Those things are all out with Chad and Sandy. They're the local real estate experts you can trust, and I recommend for the sale of your home, or for the sale of mine for that matter. Maybe I should look into it. Hey, don't trust me. Trust Jacqueline from Biscayne Estates. My inherited home became a nightmare when it went unsold for 177 days and ended up with a large lien. With expenses mounting for my handicapped daughter and no way to pay, I was desperate. At this point, I turned to Chad and Sandy. The change was amazing. Chad and Sandy sold my home in 3 days at a higher than asking price. Find out for yourself at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Oh, no. No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Hey gang, Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, it is hot outside this time of the year. Many of us are staying inside or going to the pool. Well, my friends at Zero Res are also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs, but they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone and hardwood floors. And right now, the hottest price of the year, 25% off all hardwood cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res, man, spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances, like the LG Smart Top Load Washer with easy unload angled front, so you can reach every last sock. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select appliances in-store and online with Labor Day savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details. America's most reliable line of appliances per independent study.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Pour Downy in the rinse change.
wash, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes 100% of odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. Knowles head coach Mike Norvell commented on the health of the team as they prepare to kick off their season against Georgia Tech.
For the most part, we are as good as you could hope for going into our first game. I think it's going to be as good as what we could probably hope for.
The Miami Dolphins and Tampa Bay Buccaneers will wrap up their last preseason game this evening at 7:30 in Tampa as each team looks to nail down the 53-man roster. Many of the starters are not expected to play. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Daytona International Speedway on Saturday for the second-to-last race of the regular season. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 playoff battle could see another shakeup as Tyler Reddick now leads Chase Elliott by 10 points with 2 races remaining before the playoffs begin. Hear the race live on 1010 XL AM starting at 6:30. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:54, it's 80 degrees. Time at 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, Tommy Mac.
I like this stuff.
You enjoying it? Just go on the playlist? You thought it was something else entirely.
Love is lifting me higher. I thought that's what it was.
Oh, that's a good one,
the same
too.
beat, didn't it?
A little bit.
Kind of felt like it.
A little bit.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
There are a few songs that I can't think of
Who's
them.
this, the Boss Stones?
Got me.
The Jam.
The Jam. I think it's the Jam. Could it be the Jam?
The Jam.
I don't know. That's what Pocket said. So.
Town called Malice.
Can't do Jam. Got to be Jelly. Concord Grape, baby.
Yeah, me too. Same.
Concord Grape.
Man, nothing like a good PB&J.
Oh, really is classic.
I do. I eat them a lot. I do.
I do. Absolutely. How you doing? Not much. That's the best. What's up? Good. Good. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. Can you hear me?
All right. Other than avoiding injuries, what are the top 3 things you hope to see from the Jags when they face the Falcons tonight? Tom, give us one thing you're going to be honing in on that you'd like to see the Jags accomplish tonight.
You know what I'd really like to see? I'd like to see my starting offense with my franchise quarterback take the ball down the field and have a nice mix of run and pass and have a nice drive with no hiccups, no problems. Just go down the field and score 7 points. You want to pull Trevor after that? I'm cool with that. But can we just see that? Just see some efficiency, some drives that score. Not 3 and out, not, maybe get a first down, then get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're going against their number 2s. You should be efficient tonight. Really efficient. Ready to go. And I don't know if dominate's the right word, but you should be scoring on at least a couple of your possessions.
Yeah, if they go down and Trevor's 3 of 5 and they stick one in the end zone, I probably want to see another series,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm with you. It wouldn't have to be much more than that. Like we talked about with Anthony Richardson, Tony. If you go 7 of 8, you get that many reps, throw for 65 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
And you look crisp doing it, and you had some success running the ball.
It'd be cool to see one, connection between Trevor and Brian Thomas Jr. tonight because we didn't see that in week 1.
That's right.
The one catch he had was the 40-yarder, but that was,
right. From
with Beathard coming into the game. And last week, obviously, he didn't play. Mac had the one throw to him. It was a great play for him, but I'd like to see that connection one time. And I would add, talking about the offensive efficiency tonight, I expect them obviously to be the better side when the starters are out there.
Yep.
Right? As we've already talked about. Yep. I would like to see at least one situation where it's 3rd and 1 or 2 and they just hand it to the back and convert it.
Amen.
Just give me 1 or 2 of those situations tonight and they get it done. It's not typical to go into any football game and go, man, could I see a 3rd and 1 tonight? Like that.
No,
but
right.
preseason, having the opportunity to get that kind of thing done with the starting offensive line out there is something I'd like to see.
And convert it not because Travis Etienne made 2 guys miss in the backfield, right? Or Tank Bigsby broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. How about getting a crease? And convert it, and then pick up the extra on the end of it.
And then on top of that, give your quarterback a pocket. Don't let that pressure get in his face.
I mean, the O-line is really tonight, I think, what it's all about.
That's the whole
right?
ball game to me, basically.
Protecting Trevor, obviously. I mean, obviously, Trevor, beyond the health aspect of it, that goes directly to the health aspect of it, though, right? If we're going to keep our quarterback injury-free or much less injury-prone this year, going to have to show us something here. And for their sake, we haven't seen that 5 out there yet.
Oh, right.
So let's give them a chance to defy expectations or show us what they're capable of.
Yeah, just get them, confident and comfortable, working together, because if that's who you're riding into the season with, you don't want to. You want to see it tonight. You want to see some good work tonight, not pressure up the middle, moving guys around, the timing there. A lot of that running game is timing, with the backs and the blocks. So he's got to, they got to be on point tonight. Just show us, not us, just show yourselves that you can be that offensive line that we need you to be. You don't have to be top 3. I don't care about that.
No.
But you can't be bottom 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't be.
And to this point in the preseason process, Tommy, you were out there for the practices where, there were a lot of fireworks down the field, but the Bucs, if it was a real game, Trevor would have been on the ground for a lot of what those big plays would have wound up being. It would be, I don't think you really answer questions tonight if you're the offensive line, right? I think that you can maybe put yourself in a position where you don't provide more. And could at least provide a situation where going into week 1 against Miami, you have some kind of confidence that, we've seen those 5 guys play together. It looked fine, right? For whatever snaps we saw them against Atlanta that night. I'd like for it to, I just don't want any more questions to be added to whatever we already have about the offensive line tonight, because I don't think they can effectively answer a bunch of the questions we have until we get to the Miami Dolphins.
And look, you're right. You got to keep it in perspective. We want a good night tonight, but you should have a good night tonight, right? And you need that work together, so that's great. Get the work in and then get out. Hopefully you're unscathed, and then you keep it in perspective, because even if they have a great night tonight, we don't know. We still don't know until we go into Miami, into the regular season. But it would be a good look. It would be a good feel. And I'm not just talking about us. I'm talking about inside that locker room. So you go into that week of the regular season going, man, I felt good about last week's performance. Even though it's against the Twos, it doesn't matter. We got some stuff done. We got some work done. Now let's go take on the regular season.
One guy I'm going to be looking for tonight is Parker Washington. Too, with Christian Kirk not playing. I mean, Parker Washington basically gets to run with the ones tonight. Does it look the same? He's been out there very effective against the Twos for the most part, and can he just kind of seamlessly pick up what he's been doing? Because, he looks like a guy that if you were in the situation you were in at the end of last year, you can, I know he scored a couple of touchdowns last season, but it didn't have the whole playbook down. He just seems like
he's dropped a couple significant passes.
That jump from year 1 to year 2, Tom, it looks like it's going to be as big for him as just about anybody, based on at least what we've seen in training camp so far.
If you had to say who's had the best training camp, he's in the running, without a doubt.
He's one to be mentioned, at least,
He looks quicker. He does look more explosive. He caught pretty much everything thrown to him. So I think he's going to be a weapon for them, and, that's good. They've added to the weaponry for Trevor. I have no qualms about who he's throwing to. I have no qualms about our running backs. Tank Bigsby's a guy I'm looking for tonight. Keep going, Tank. Keep showing us that you're that kind of runner, man. Making those cuts, being that suddenness through the hole and being tough through that hole. So, it's it's all something we'd like to see.
I mean, whether the top 3 immediately are as effective as last year's top 3 when they were healthy, time will tell on that one. But I feel, like Duvernay is a natural receiver. You know what I mean? Like Agnew was always a guy who was becoming a receiver.
Right, working
on the craft. We got a couple specialty plays. I feel like Duvernay is more of a guy that you can line up in a lot of spots and just do his thing. But, Parker Washington coming on, I feel now that if there is that injury that carries into the regular season or you get that along the way, they're just better positioned than they were.
They've gotten faster, too.
They have. And look, Parker's doing more. Last year he was the guy that was the backup for Christian Kirk. And when they put him on the field, they basically said, all right, put him in the slot and let's see what he can do. It does feel like he's doing a lot more, in this preseason especially. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like with the positions they put him in tonight. I also think, talking about the wide receiver group, The 6, I think, are pretty clear.
Yeah.
That are going to make the team with Kirk, Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, Parker Washington, Devin Duvernay, Tim Jones, I think are going to be on the roster, right?
Yep.
Tim Jones, obviously, for special teams. Do any of the other wide receivers make the decision on whether or not to keep a 7th wide receiver more difficult after what we've seen through the preseason to this point and tonight? Elijah Cooks was a guy they kept on the roster last year because they didn't think they'd be able to get him to the practice squad. I think that situation has changed. I think they can get him to the practice squad potentially this year if they wanted to go that direction with it. And there's been enough, like the drop last week, there's been enough of those kind of moments where it's like, I don't think there's a bunch of teams in the league that are going, I can't wait till they cut Cooks so that we get a shot at him.
I think he can play gunner, right? He's been playing gunner.
He does a little bit of that on special teams.
He does a little bit of that. Look, this is the cutthroat part of the business. You make those catches, you might be ahead of Tim Jones right now on that depth chart. Tim Jones is a great special teamer, but if you could do what Tim Jones does on special teams, and be a weapon, you jump ahead of him.
Obviously, they'd prefer
dropping
that.
those the pass.
The dropping of the penalty on special teams, too, last week. Look, you only get so many opportunities.
I know.
And I'm not saying, look, like you don't know this. You've been through this, right?
But you know what? And here's the thing, because the fight is what? The kid's got a ton of potential. Like, he's somehow got to put it together. Big, fast, seems pretty, tough. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that eventually wanes. Like
the NFL is littered with big, fast, tough that
you're right,
never,
Mike. You're
never
right.
made it.
No, you're right. You're right.
And he'll be 26 in October. He's not like a super young
kid
guy. Yeah. I'm not saying 26 is over the hill. I mean, you got a lot of good years ahead of you, but.
Yeah. I will say the Trammell kid, I wish he would
impressed
make it.
last week.
All he does is catch. I mean, he doesn't drop ball. Even during practice, it didn't seem like he dropped anything thrown his way. He found a way to get open. He's not going to blow you away with speed or anything like that, but, man, he does catch the rock and seems to get open.
I like that he turns it up quick. Like the ball hits his hands, and he's putting it away and turning upfield in the same motion. You know what I mean? Doesn't have to gather himself. And
right. Yeah.
I don't know what else he could have done last week. You know, he was fantastic. Even got in there, returned a punt, short little punt. But
he got off the field pretty quick on it.
Trying to show you that, I can do something here potentially.
Let me ask you this, because I thought about this. You know how there's always like the safe punt returner? That's not maybe going to return.
The guy who's got good hands,
he's going to catch.
Maybe not going to break a long way.
Keenan used to sometimes go back there just to make sure that the ball was going to be caught. We don't want you to really return it. Just make sure that it's caught. Is there a spot? I mean, he's got to do other stuff than just that, obviously.
I think that's Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay. And honestly, it may just be Duvernay, regardless.
No, it could be.
You know what I mean? The guy was the all-pro return man in the entire National Football League last year. I doubt they have many qualms about his ability to. But I know what you're saying.
Secure it.
I think, though.
If you find a spot for him, I guess that would be a spot.
Between Kirk and I think that's such a niche, though, that, I think between Kirk and Parker Washington, you'd have options if you're looking for that.
Probably put him on the practice squad, though, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of spots on the practice squad.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
He's, again, what else could he have done last week?
No, I know.
Did what he could.
He's had a good camp.
One guy, Tom, I'm curious to get your thoughts on, because I saw you tweeting about him several times this week, is Cole Van Lanen.
Yeah.
Right? And even before PFF came out with their grades and named him the Offensive Player of the Week, the Offensive Player of the Week in the entire NFL for preseason week 2, you were just from watching and rewatching the game, you thought he stood out physically.
Well, and I thought he stood out during practices, too. He's real aggressive, and he's athletic. I think you could try him at guard. And my thinking is, like, a lot of right tackles can play guard. Not a lot of left tackles can play guard for whatever reason. I don't know if they can't bend, deep enough. They're not as powerful from that position. But a lot of right tackles are powerful, right? Typically, they're that Mauler-type player. But regardless, I'd have him in front of the young kid from Mizzou, Foster. I would. Now, granted, he's a draft pick. I get it. But I think he's performed well enough that he would be my second right tackle. And look, leave Walker at left tackle. You know what I mean? I think he's as good as a right tackle as Walker, if not better. I think Walker's obviously better left tackle.
So you're saying, like, if Anton were to miss a game, you'd be good with Cole Van Lanen as opposed to Walker Little playing
I would. I mean, I could see them going Walker because he's done it, but I would. I think that that young man's really, really come on. I think his aggressiveness stands out. And I'm not saying he's a full-time starter, but I tell you right now, I think you can make an argument he's number 7.
It's just
right?
an interesting
on that list.
balance that they have because, like, there's no doubt in my mind if he was on the team, they'd go to him over Javon Foster right now if they needed a guy to play, right? No question. Yeah. But you do have Foster, who's going to take up a spot on the 53. You've got Anton and Cam and Walker Little. That's 4 tackles right there. Like you said, you want to see Cole Van Lannon play guard. I brought that up to Logs. Logs thinks, nope, strictly a tackle.
No.
You know?
Well, you know.
I don't know.
I don't want to disagree with him, but at the same time, I think a lot of right tackle. I think that kid could play guard.
I know what you're saying. It's more of that, left tackle's more about moving backwards and protecting your quarterback sometimes.
Yeah, just more athletic. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't think Walker Little is a great guard at all. I wouldn't put him at guard. I don't think he showed that he can play guard. I think he can play left tackle and he can play right tackle. I don't think he can play guard. I think Cole Van Lannon can play guard.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Jags think about it because, again, when you are even if he's not on anybody's radar in the pro personnel department, if PFF puts out that kind of write-up about him, people are going to go back and look at the film and go, hey, we need a potential swing tackle.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this guy. I don't know if the Jags can keep him, and then you wonder, does he become a guy that you can flip for a late-round pick or – do you just try to get him through waivers or do you keep him? If I'm the Jags, I'm trying to keep 10 because I want as many different combinations on that offensive line
especially
as possible.
With last year when it went down.
And with Foster being basically, to me, Tony, feeling like he's on scholarship this year.
Well, and I think, too, we just had the conversation about the wide receivers, and I really do feel like you don't have to put Cooks on the roster to protect being able to keep him. If you want to, I think that situation has changed a year later, which opens the door for, all right, we don't have to put 7 wide receivers on the 53.
Right.
They felt like they had to last year protect Cooks. I think this year, the big question on the offensive side is, how do we keep 10 offensive linemen? Because I think they would want to keep Van Lannon for sure. Mm-hmm. And that would be the spot, I think, where you make the room for him is, all right, we're keeping 6 wide receivers and 10 offensive linemen. I think that's the most likely direction they go with the roster next week.
Yeah. Look, I think he's earned his right to be on the 53. I think he's played well enough to do that. I would like I look at Foster. I don't think Foster can play guard. He might be able to play right tackle, but he can't play guard. He's not built for it. I don't think. He looks athletic as all get out, but he don't look like he
I think this is a pure developmental year for him. He'll be on the 53, and he won't be active on game day.
Yeah.
Unless you have a wave of injuries at a certain point in time. I mean,
I just think Van Lannon's kind of more of a punisher, and I think he'd make a good guard, my opinion.
All right, let's take a time out here. We'll come back and continue to the discussion of what we're hoping to see from the Jags tonight against the Atlanta Falcons. You're welcome to get in at 641-1010 on the Garber Automotive phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Start sequence 1.
Unleash the excitement of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Ignition.
XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Jennifer Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Denny Thompson here. If you want to work with new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound & Security is a growing company looking for you now. Tyson is now hiring for sales, technician, and administrative positions. You'll start at the industry's most competitive pay, and they will train you. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security hiring sales, technicians, and administrative. Call 762-1000. Equal Opportunity Employer.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser share the huddle with Freddie T.
Bring it in.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins.
Fred Taylor, he's a candidate to go the distance.
On 1010XL.
Don't suffer another day with cheap box store cornhole boards. Order your custom luxury boards from Mystic Cornhole Company right here in Jax. Ask about pro-level bags, lights, score stands, and other accessories. And score with Mystic Cornhole Company.
The restaurant of the day is Flame Broiler. Try the happy hour special, a mini chicken bowl with a drink for just $6.45. Order online at flamebroilerusa.com or check out one of 5 locations across town. Flame Broiler, simply healthy.
For birthdays, anniversaries, or any situation that requires something really special, visit the Kuhn Flowers showroom on Beach Boulevard and select something that you can't find anywhere else. 1010XL's Andrew Gibson here, and that's the direction I head, Kuhn Flowers.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Visionaries, builders, and doers, are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
The coolers are full at your local gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gates got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's number 55.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, your better half of the longboards ready to join us here. We'll be drafting Jaguars Today Fantasy Leagues coming up. Again, full thread out there on Twitter. That's not fair, I don't have Twitter. Well, guess what? It's also not fair to people who don't have radios. So there is always that.
That's right.
Right? So, hey, we all have our crosses to bear. I don't know.
Great bathroom reading. Get into it.
Lots of people choose not to have Twitter, I would imagine. Or X, whatever you want. But anyway, full thread on there for all the details of how you can request a spot in one of the Jaguars Today Fantasy Leagues. But the one way to guarantee yourself a spot is to win one of them. And you get invited back. Let's go to Fan Cam. Hello, happy Friday, Cam.
Hey, good morning, guys. Tommy, that would be the two-time defending champion of the Jaguars Today League, Jack's Beach Longboards.
Jack's Beach Longboards. Yes, sir.
Celebrating our home on the island.
Well, you are GM of the year times 2, my friend.
I've already given that name away to another team who requested it, just so you know.
Well, I appreciate you guys doing that. It's pretty cool to compete with you guys and former Jaguars and the analysts that we hear all year long on your show. It's really cool for us, and we appreciate it very much. I've been doing fantasy sports since the late 80s, and the most exciting game I've ever played was with Tony about 6 or 7 years ago when we were in the Super Bowl, and it was a battle in the 140s, great game on both sides, and I had a 2-point lead coming down to the very end of the games, and Kansas City had the ball at the 3 or 4 yard line. Tony had the kicker, the field goal. They had a 2-score lead, and a field goal would have made it a 3-score. Under 2 minutes to play. They run it first down up the middle. No gain. Second down up the middle, no gain. Third down, Dontari Poe fakes running it up the middle, does a Tebow jump pass into the end zone for a touchdown because there was so much hatred between the Raiders and the Chiefs. And we ended up winning that one by a couple points. That was just amazing. I had given up on that one. And invariably, it's amazing how many times it comes down to the last games of the Monday night games in these leagues. So thanks a bunch, guys. As far as this week goes, I really do agree that I'd like to see a little momentum, kind of a groove develop with the offensive line into the regular season. But really the coolest thing is how many of these young guys are fighting for a roster spot after decades of being in a position to scour the waiver wires, when everybody releases everybody to get guys that might even be starting for you a week or two later. And I think the coin is flipped, and this year teams will be looking at who we release and going after those guys. And I think it's an enviable position to be in and speaks to the depth that we've developed over the last couple years. So anyway, it'll be fun to watch. Let's just hope all the starters walk off the field healthy, without a limp, and let's rock into the regular season. You guys have a great weekend. And Tommy, we even got a jingle now for our team. Probably the Foley team with a jingle. Ain't no qualms when you're dropping bombs, baby. You guys have a great weekend.
There you go.
I think you have to sing that for it to be a jingle, Fan Cam. So we're going to maybe require that of you next week if you want to lock down this spot.
Using the word bombs over radio might not be a good thing. I don't know.
Oh, man. I think we're okay.
You know how people are, though.
I know how people are. But
let me ask you this. A serious question about fantasy football. So if your team, like not your fantasy team, your team that you follow loses that day, does winning your day in fantasy football help that? Like, does that?
It's different for everybody. Like, I compartmentalize it. Like, it's one thing. Like, I'm rooting for the Jags. Yeah. Our mental focus, our emotional focus is there. If they lose, I'm going to be, I got an hour ride home. Yeah. And so I may be frustrated, whatever, but then I get home, I start checking my fantasy. I compartmentalize it. It's like two completely different things.
So team comes first and then fantasy.
There are plenty of fantasy players that just won't play players that are playing against their team. They approach it that way. It's like, I don't want to have to root for a guy that's going against my guys, right? Like, I don't have that issue. I don't care. It's like,
they're
the matchup says,
they're going to score.
Right. Like, I don't have anything to do with that. I'm rooting for both of my teams, right? Like, the Jaguars when they're playing and my fantasy team when they're on the field. It's that kind of thing. I view it as I'm pulling for all my guys all the time, and neither one of them affects my mood all
gotcha.
that much.
But let's be honest.
Some people,
the most popular question in an NFL press box or associated area is who scored?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Right.
Because it's like, Houston's up 7-0. Who scored?
Yep.
And you know exactly why they're asking.
Every time, yeah.
We don't really. Does it matter if it was Dalton Schultz or not?
No, right.
No.
No.
Well, who scored? Well,
right.
I mean, and that is like everyone's asking that question.
Interesting.
It is how it is, man.
No, right.
I increased the popularity of the league, I think, significantly.
Yeah.
And the guys who,
without a doubt,
the guys who lean into it, the players who appreciate it, get a lot of new fans.
Oh yeah,
I think
for sure.
All right, let's take a look around what's going on in the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Kansas City Chiefs and center Creed Humphrey have agreed to a 4-year, $72 million contract extension that includes $50 million in guaranteed money. Right at the end of the show yesterday, Washington traded away wide receiver Jahan Dotson and a 5th-round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 3rd-round pick and 2 7th-round picks next year. The Seattle Seahawks have traded cornerback Michael Jackson to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for linebacker Michael Barrett, who Carolina drafted in the 7th round this year. The Green Bay Packers are still awaiting the test results on the stinger that running back A.J. Dillon suffered earlier this week in practice. According to head coach Matt LaFleur, LA Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford was a full participant in practice yesterday after being limited earlier this week due to hamstring tightness, but did have to practice with his left thumb bandaged because of a cut that he sustained at home. And San Francisco has signed tight end Logan Thomas to a 1-year deal.
You know, that trade yesterday with Jahan Dotson went down right as we were going off the air.
Yep.
And I always feel like when you make a trade within the division that if you're the team receiving that player, you got to wonder what the other team knows about him, right?
Yeah.
But apparently, like Jahan Dotson got some positive buzz early in the offseason, and then just as recently as like a week ago, they basically said, look, De'Ami Brown, Olamide Zaccheaus, Dotson, nobody has moved ahead of anybody else.
Yep.
And you know, he was the guy with the most draft capital investment, so they ended up getting a 3rd rounder, a couple of 7ths. They give up Dotson and a 5th. And then the rumor came out last night that Washington may be back in the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes, right? Because they played together, Jaden Daniels and Ayuk briefly at Arizona State.
Arizona State, right.
And this had been a team he seemed to be interested in going to. But it seems like all these prospective deals that San Fran has going on, they're looking to get a receiver back in the deal. You know, so you would think that if they were going to go that route, maybe they go, hey, what about Jahan Dotson as one of those guys back in the deal?
Yeah.
You know?
But something's amiss. I mean, he was a 1st-round pick like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, right. But he's, you know, some guys, like Treylon Burks was in that same draft, right?
That's right.
This is kind of like a make-or-break season for him. And, you know, Treylon Burks was a 1st-rounder, and then they brought in DeAndre Hopkins, and then they gave Calvin Ridley $23 million a year.
Yeah, right.
And they signed Tyler Boyd, right? Which
so that says a lot. That
it really
sold
does.
On Burks is what that says.
It would seem like
and
it.
maybe you missed on that pick.
But, you know, and it's also got to be somewhat of an indictment for Philadelphia of Johnny Wilson, the Florida State rookie who was getting some looks as a slot guy. Harris Campbell's there. Like, you know, it's good for Jalen Hurts, but, you know, for Jahan Dotson's long-term prospects, I mean, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith have contract extensions. They're going to be there for several years. You know what I mean? It was an interesting move to give up
especially
a 3rd
inside
rounder.
the division. That don't happen a lot.
Right. And
before the season.
Like, I'm sitting there going, I wonder what they know that we don't know about this guy. But then again, some guys just need a fresh start, and it works that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who would we trade for in the division?
In the
division.
Good call.
We want who's the guard from Indy?
Oh,
Nelson.
Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson,
even though he may not be at the peak of his powers anymore, I'll take Quentin Nelson right now.
We'll give him Mac Jones.
I would do that.
Yeah,
I would do that. I would roll the dice on my backup quarterback situation.
Yeah.
You know? E.J. Perry hold it down for a couple weeks. Beathard gets back by week 3.
Yeah.
That's where we're rolling with.
Absolutely.
Beef
that up front.
Would you throw Brandon Sheriff in the deal as well? Brandon Sheriff, Mac Jones for Quentin Nelson. My answer is yes.
Yes.
You would?
Yeah. And Sheriff's only going to be here for this year.
I was just thinking maybe I'd throw Ezra in instead of Sheriff. Roll my dice.
I don't
with
think
Brandon.
they would because they just invested in him.
No, I know.
You know?
But
And
they
that,
just redid Brandon, didn't they?
they did, but
Or did they just
I
move
think
it
that was
around?
more like a cap space thing.
move
Like,
around
you know, Ezra was going to be a free agent.
That's true.
You know, so they got him for 3 years. Got him pretty economically.
Yeah.
If he's good.
Yeah.
We'll find out. All right, we'll come back. I want to get your opinion, Tom, because who better on linebacker play? What we should be looking for from Devin Lloyd in particular tonight, and maybe when Muma and Ventrell Miller get on the field as well. So we'll get into that, and we'll take a look at some of your submissions today for the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day that asked, other than avoiding injuries, what are your top 3 things you hope to see from the Jags when they take on the Falcons tonight? This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180. The 20-pound summer slim down is in full effect. You can lose 20 by the end of summer and get rolling into your weight loss plan for the fall. Maybe you only need to drop 20 pounds. Maybe you need to drop 15. Look, Awaken 180 is a great way to jumpstart your metabolism, get yourself in a new mindset, and find a way to maintain that weight loss. I've been able to do it since last September, coming up on 1 year with Awaken 180, and the results have been fantastic. They're going to have you eat to lose weight. That's right. You're going to eat. You're going to eat more frequently, but they're going to teach you when to eat, what to eat, how to eat, and all of a sudden the pounds are going to be dropping off of you. And the beauty is, again, as promised, with great coaching and support, free coaching and support for life once you hit your goal weight, you'll maintain that weight loss all year round. Call 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 weight loss. That's 844-346-1800, and you could be the next success story. Schedule a free consultation online by going to awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big this summer. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime powertrain and a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give us the opportunity to earn your business today. Atlantic Boulevard, Jacksonville, or visit JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Welcome to the family.
Prosser here. Hey, pick a news source. But the reports are home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. So you need to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, and you can do it with the agents proven to sell for top dollar, Chad and Sandy Newman. Hey, perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a lowball out-of-state instant offer, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. That's why you turn to Chad and Sandy, who have the answers. No required costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts I trust and recommend for the sale of your home. Tony and Maggie at Jack's Golf and Country Club said, "We recently had a job transfer and we needed to sell fast. With homes in our area struggling to sell inside 100 days, we didn't know what to do. Our worries were solved when we hired Chad and Sandy. Our home sold in 3 days for one of the highest prices ever in our neighborhood at over $1 million. Call the local experts we trust, 904-414-6200 or ChadAndDSandy.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Your musculoskeletal system carries the body, meaning that it maintains the structure against gravity. If you want your joints to stay healthy and seek the simplest solution, the best answer is to lose weight. Don't forget that the more weight you put onto your joints, the more pressure and stress there is on your hips and knees. This translates to more pain if you're already having issues. Losing weight is the quickest way to alleviate joint pain and boost your joint health. Go Jags.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances, like the LG Smart Top Load Washer with easy unload angled front, so you can reach every last sock. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select appliances in-store and online with Labor Day savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details. America's most reliable line of appliances per independent study.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
You hear that? That's the sound of your water bill tripling. Are you ready to fix the drip? Call Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services. They do it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Lauren Brooks here. Circa Resort and Casino has an incredible all-in package for Duval in December. For only $500, tax and resort fee included, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. Join us Heels Friday night for a Jacksonville pep rally with specials and giveaways. To book the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway and join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bold City Brewery, established in 2008, is the oldest craft brewery in Jacksonville and proud to celebrate 16 years of brewing greatness in Duval. 2 locations serving delicious beers, seltzers, ciders, all produced in-house. Check out Bold City downtown on Bay Street or hit the production house and restaurant on Roselle Street in Riverside. Bold City Brewery, with something for everyone, brewing great beers and serving fantastic food to all of Duval. Log on and be bold. BoldCityBrewery.com.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
It's game day for the Jags up in Atlanta as they ready themselves for their last preseason game. Jaguars wide receiver Gabe Davis spoke on what he's looking to accomplish in tonight's game.
Just execute what's being called. We all know the playbook. They gave us enough time to really study. We've been having our walkthroughs, going through practice, running the same thing over and over again. So just want to look sharp right there. No MAs. Go out there, play some good, clean football, and be able to make some plays as we head out to there on Friday.
Offensive tackle Anton Harrison shared his thoughts on the offensive line starters playing together tonight.
It's good to be out there in the game against another team. Well, all 5 of us, I feel like we got a lot of work in camp. We was good. We had some guys like me who was down and up, but it's going to feel good, all 5 of us going out there and playing together.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 87.
All right, we've been talking about some of the things we'd like to see tonight, and I still want to get to some of Tom's insight on what we should look for from the linebacking group. Let's take a look at some of the responses that we've gotten today to the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day. Other than avoiding injuries, looking for the top 3 things that you hope to see from the Jaguars tonight. So let's see. I bet there's going to be a lot of overlap here, but Cristiano, successful championship season in Jaguars Today, 3 last year. You guys won League 2 last year. It doesn't matter. There's just number them. Anyway, Cristiano wants to see a competent O-line, successful short yardage run. Just one, right? Maybe. And a Brian Thomas highlight moment. O'Greasy, physicality in the run game, physicality stopping the run. If we show these, I know my level of optimism entering the season will heighten fivefold. Tom, you think, is the run defense a concern for you?
I don't know if it's a concern, but they haven't stopped the run very well in the preseason. No, they haven't been gashed like crazy, but they've got to be better. Some of it is the fits, some of it making sure you're tight to that, that slant or what have you. Some of it's the reads. Muma made some nice plays in the run game, last week.
But I thought Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker both ran well for the Bucs.
Yeah, they
in that
did.
game.
They did. I mean, you didn't really stop the run, against Tampa.
Well, you go back to the opening drive of the Kansas City game.
No, you didn't
Checo
stop
had that
either.
gashing 16-yarder right up the middle.
Yeah. So what am I expecting? Look, I wouldn't. Well, I guess Aluakin will play for a little bit. Looks like Muma's going to be the Sam when they're in base, but I think they're going to be in a lot of 4-2-5 this season. I think a lot of teams are, right? So it's going to be Devin Lloyd and Aluakin, and then we'll see with Muma, coming in and out of the lineup. I think Lloyd's still trying to figure out that middle position, but I think he's had a good camp. I mean, I'm a big fan of Devin Lloyd, I think. If he can just settle down a little bit in his reads and not, one of the best qualities to have as a middle linebacker or inside back is just have a little bit of patience for that play to make sure your eyes, that they're telling you the truth. Like you see the play, you're not guessing. A lot, and today with those RPOs, they really try to screw you up. They'll pull a guard in front of you and then run the back right at you. And if you're reading a guard, you're going where you know what I mean? You're thinking the guard's
and
pulling,
you abandon your spot.
And then you abandon your spot. So it's better to he's fast enough to not have to guess. You know what I mean? All three of them are. If he can just shuffle for a second, let it develop, then either bang or get out of dodge and get into your coverage.
So better play recognition, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
Quicker.
I don't know. Have we heard Devin Lloyd's name a lot in these games? I don't think we've heard him at all. We've heard Muma. I know Chad made a few plays.
Yeah, but then again, how much has Devin played?
I know.
Hardly
Not a lot.
Hardly at all.
Right.
Right.
But I'd like to see them. I'm with the guy who wrote the the physicality and run game on offense and defense. I agree with that 100%. I do want to see both sides of the first. I want to see both sides of the ball on the first team to really have a good night tonight. And that means being successful, shutting down the run, getting off the field on third down, maybe even getting a sack or two, and then on offense, getting some drives for scores.
Scott goes with effective run blocking, receivers getting separation. And it seems like there's been more of that in camp as well, and good defensive line play. Code Blue, continue the physicality, improvements from the O-line, and let Jones and Perry cook. Look, I think it'd be fantastic if E.J. Perry could play the whole second half.
Oh, yeah.
Be fine.
That's a great sign, right?
Yeah.
That's like, hey, we got knocked out what we want to do with Trevor. Yep. Mac Jones maybe gets a quarter or a series or two or whatever, and let's keep them both healthy.
You've almost seen enough of Mac Jones, right? I mean, I would play Perry. I just play Perry. Like, play Trevor till you're ready.
Is there anything to playing Mac Jones behind the starting offensive line for a series?
Yeah, maybe. Good point. Good point. Yeah, just to keep doing that. Maybe.
See how it looks.
Yeah. Feel
for him.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
Baxter goes first team getting 4+ yards per carry. No touchdowns allowed by the first team with the Falcons playing Taylor Heineke, their third-string quarterback.
Yeah, right.
Right. And a clean pocket deep shot to Brian Thomas Jr. That would be great. If you can block it up and have a clean pocket and let Trevor, if he gets those opportunities this year, with the way they've been utilizing Evan Ingram in training camp, obviously the speed of Brian Thomas Jr. and the ability of Gabe Davis to be a deep threat. I mean, they got the ability to stretch this field more than ever in the few years Trevor's been here.
Well, the fun part about the Brian Thomas Jr. catch last week was it was all about the route.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was all about him putting a defender on skates and breaking that route down. Like, I would love for him to have that kind of moment when Trevor's in the game.
Yep.
You know, for them to connect on that kind of play, I don't need it to be a 60-yard pass. Like the 15-yard pass wasn't like watching him run that route and come back to it. I was like, yeah, more of that, right? Because I know we can run past a bunch of guys in the league, right? Even at this point, I know he can do that kind of thing. And you saw it out in those practices against the Bucs. Like how easily he runs past NFL athletes is crazy, right? His athleticism is crazy, but the ability of him to break down a defender in space like that's the thing that I think could take his game to a level that I wasn't sure it could get to even in his rookie season.
Yeah, he runs smooth routes. I'll tell you, the one route I loved during camp, it was against Tampa. It was the full padded practice, but it was a 7-on-7 in the red zone. And he ran a simple out route at the goal line or right inside the end zone. Perfect throw. Perfect route, easy. It just looks so easy, and that DB wasn't like far off him, but he wasn't close to him. And you're right about that, Tony, because we all know he can run by, and they all know it, so they're going to be scared to death. And if he can break off routes without gathering himself, without wasting movement, look out. That's going to be a weapon and a half.
Is there a deep? I don't want to say deep sleeper, but a guy that is not guaranteed to be on the 53 that you're looking for tonight to maybe make that impression to give him the best chance, and even if he ends up on the practice squad, like who is that guy that you'll be watching tonight?
I'm kind of pulling for Austin Trammell, the wide receiver. That's fair. I'm kind of pulling for him, man. I think he's, he was the underdog coming in. Nobody really knew who he was. You barely noticed him.
And right, because he had like 5 or 6 guys at that end of the bench.
Right. And and Cephas was getting a lot of love at the time. You just
Denzel Mims was a former second-round pick coming in.
But he's really had a good camp, man. I don't know what you really do with him on this team, but other than practice squad. But you know what? Keep playing, man. You never know. Someone could use a slot receiver. We're just loaded. I mean, if you think about it, he's not going to play outside if he played in the offense at all. He'd play what? He'd play slot. And get him one-on-one with guys in the middle of the field. But we got 2 really good ones in front of him. So, sometimes it's numbers. Doesn't mean he can't play. It's just we don't have
this roster.
We don't have room for your type of player. But guess what? Somebody else may.
I brought this up yesterday when D-Rock was here, and it interested me at least at CBS. They did a piece on which position groups on which teams may draw some trade interest, right, prior to the final cutdowns. And there were 2 spots for the Jags. One was offensive line, believe it or not, because of the situation. Like, they have a lot of tackles. Could somebody – not that anybody is – that are elite players that are expendable, but is there a guy that could be in your top 7 or 8 that would be an improvement for your roster?
I was just going to say, think about this. Some other team has an injury at tackle. They're going to call the Jags.
You would think, maybe.
I mean, you got Cam, you got Walker. You want to give one of them up?
Right, or even Cole Van Lannon, based on how he's played in the preseason. Because maybe they've got a guy that is going to step into their starting lineup, but now they need a swing tackle, something like that. Yep. The other spot was safety. And they do have an interesting mix of veterans and young players there.
I don't think it was popular opinion, and it's not fair because Dewey hasn't been out there, but I think Terrell Edmonds is a good player, and I think he would be an upgrade over Wingard. Now, Wingard's going to probably go on IR for a little bit, and that's nothing. It's not a shot on Wingard. I just think Terrell Edmonds can really move around. He's very physical. He's come up with some big hits. I know everyone loves Dewey, and I do too, but I just think Terrell Edmonds should be on this team.
Tony, is there a guy for you that you'll be keeping an eye out for tonight?
I would love to see Yasir Abdullah have some kind of impact, right? Specifically on special teams, right? Because I don't know that anything he does when he's on the field on defense is going to impress anybody to any degree that'll be the reason he's kept on the roster. It's what can he add for us on special teams? We talked about it with D-Rock yesterday, kind of that last decision on the defense. I think it could come down to something as simple as Yasir Abdullah or Monteric Brown.
Yeah.
And which of those 2 guys do they want to keep on the roster ultimately? And I think Yasir Abdullah to be the guy they keep. He's a 5th-round pick last year, right? He's still just going into year 2. But for him to be a guy they keep, he has to be able to play whatever special teams they need him to play.
The way he's handled the switch to Sam, he's really shown up. You know what I mean? Like, because I didn't know if he wasn't going to rush the passer, what is he going to do? Right. You know what I mean? But he's shown that he can play that outside backer.
2 guys for me, basically kind of vying for that same role, even though they play technically different positions. Asezi Otomowo, right, who's had 2.5
I like
2.5
number
sacks.
90 you're talking about.
2.5 sacks in 2 games.
Yep.
And Breland Speaks, who just, comes in and gets to the quarterback. And granted, again, it's against backups, but that's when he's playing.
Right.
Right? And that's why you brought him here, is because you knew he was a pass rusher. And who do you have behind Trevis Gibson that you feel at all confident in right now?
Do you think Tyler Lacey's on the bubble?
I think he's on the team.
I think he's on the team.
Yeah. I think he's on the team.
It says he's on the team?
I don't.
No.
Not right now.
That's the bubble.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think those two guys, can one of those guys at least make the decision really, really difficult on the coaching staff on whether or not they keep one of these guys? I don't know. I'll be looking for those guys tonight.
I think it's a tight battle, but I could be wrong. But I think 90's impressed. I really do, man. I think he's.
I think he has too. Yeah. I mean, what can you do? If let's say he goes out and has a sack and a half tonight, that's 4 in 3 games.
Right. Gotta.
We don't have too many of that.
Can't let that walk.
Too many of those guys.
Yep.
Again, preseason doesn't guarantee your regular season success, but on the radar. All right, Dylan, let's wrap it up.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
All right, hello, Taylor Dahl.
Hello.
All right, you cannot say offensive line. You cannot say stay healthy. What is one thing you want to see tonight from the Jaguars?
I said this yesterday on Heels. I want to see a really good, consistent offensive drive and not one that is 17 plays long and 75 minutes. I want to see a boop, boop, boop. You see a lot of connections happening with different guys. And the starting offense, I definitely want to see that, especially because it seems like Atlanta's not playing anybody, so you want to be able to do that against backups. But I just feel like in the preseason, you've seen some really good splash moments here or there, but it was a really long drive that ended up scoring last week. That was fun. It's fun to take time off the clock sometimes, but I do like to see a little bit of consistency and make it look a little easy for these guys and the connections that we've seen start to grow this offseason.
Yeah, we all like a good boop, boop, boop drive. Just boop, boop, boop. And I hear what you're saying, but I do love that, man, when you can take a team's will away from 17-play drive for a touchdown is phenomenal.
I just liked all the clock being eaten in the preseason.
There's definitely benefits of that. I just would like to see a drive that doesn't need help from some sort of penalties or some miracle 3rd and 14 play.
Tell the other team to quit cheating. All right? Quit cheating. All right, what's coming up on Helmets and Heels today?
Yeah, a lot of Jags talk. We're going to have Frank Frangie on with us from Atlanta to preview that game a little bit. We also have Dalton Wasserman from PFF to come on. He has a college football podcast, so we're going to talk about Florida State, Georgia Tech, week 0 this weekend, but also a little bit of NFL and Jaguars too. So a ton of football, and it's here, and I'm pumped.
That's where you know college knows pros, the superior product. They adjust their thing. They call it week 0, so their week 1 aligns with the end. It's true. Why wouldn't you just call it week 1? This is your first week of football. Why you call it week 0? Because you want to align with what the NFL is doing.
Right.
We know. It's okay. It's all right. Enjoy your games this weekend. Taylor, have a great show.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Helmets and Heels coming your way. Next, let's see, Brian Sexton, JP, and I will be on around 4 o'clock today. 3 hours of pregame, getting you ready for the game tonight. And as a reminder, if you're listening on the app, can't stream those games, but you will get Bulls Reigns tonight.
Yes, you will.
On the
7:30 tonight, they kick it off.
You have a pick tonight? Who do you think wins out of those two?
Bulls thinks that they have maybe the best team that Toplin has had since he got there. And,
that's saying
they've been at least the Final Four team in the state every year since he got there. He's played for a couple of state championships, but haven't won one yet. But they feel really good about what they got coming back.
All right, Dylan, good luck with the Baldwin Indians
Appreciate
tonight versus Englewood. And good luck to all you high school kids out there. Great
Stay
time
safe.
of year, no doubt about it. All right, that'll do it for us. For Tom McManus, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, we will be back with David Garrard on Monday, hopefully a Victory Monday, wrap up the preseason at 3-0. Thanks for listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
So guess what? 10-10 is popping, and there won't be no stopping. Bang, bang, bang.